Hey, it's an edition of Crimestoppers of North Central Iowa. Today we have Chief Pete Roth from Clear Lake Police Department joining us today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for being here today. And
Thank-
we understand. Can we just get right to the chase? I hear you're leaving.
Yeah, that's correct. And again, it wasn't the easy decision, but there has been a professional opportunity for me to relocate back down to the Des Moines metro area to take the police chief job at the city of Windsor Heights, which is over on the west side of Des Moines off 235. So it's just a great opportunity. The police department here is in great shape with some great people. So it worked out so I could take it, and it's been great. So,
how long have you been here in Clear Lake, the North Iowa area?
I started in August of 2015. So, if my math is right, I'm almost coming up on 8 years. So, It seems like it was just yesterday. But if you look at my beginning picture and to where I'm at now, you can tell that there has been some aging and some stress. But it's been fantastic, and I couldn't have asked for a better community to serve, two communities, Ventura and Clear Lake, to serve and to work with the leaders in the community and the public safety officials up here in North Iowa. So couldn't have asked for a better group of people.
Where are you originally from?
I grew up in West Des Moines when I was
as
a kid. I graduated from Dowling and went to the University of Iowa. So
you're kind of going home then.
Kind of going home, yes.
Yeah. You got to pick up the old girlfriend. Yeah. How's that work when you got to pick up, an old classmate?
Oh yeah.
I mean, not pick her. I mean, actually, like send her a ticket, not pick her up.
Well, I started one of my early ages was at Clive. So there have been times where I have run across classmates professionally. So you just be delicate and use discretion and discreet, and it happens. So.
Yeah, I wondered if I would. I bet it does. I bet it comes up. Well, not a lot, but I bet it comes up more than you might think.
You got something to talk about at the class reunion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What are you going to miss the most, Chief?
Well, really, they say there's always something going on in Clear Lake, and the events, and there's a lot of projects going on with the Surf District and some of the new housing developments, and I'll miss again, and just the engaged community. Windsor Heights is very similar, size community, similar size agency, and they have a lot of engaged residents and a city council down there. So that will be great. But I was able to meet a lot of neat, creative, interesting people, and I don't think I'll lose that because I always maintain ties, and I always, with social media and our cell phones now, we're able to maintain that pretty regularly and consistently. So I'm excited about that. I'm not going to lose my friends and my contacts up here, and I still hope to work with them and help if needed. And again,
you're only a couple hours away. I mean,
right. We're going into the 3 great months of our area, right? The summer months, before it gets back to winter. So, but our events will start up here this weekend with Earth Day. So then the Tri is right around the corner, and then 4th of July is here, Parker, all that stuff. So
all the fun stuff. Yeah. Hey, when you mentioned West Des Moines, is that Caitlin Clark area down there, or isn't that her territory?
Yeah, so she's a Dowling graduate as well. So I don't know where she's actually from in the area, but I think West Des Moines is where her family lives. Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That now she's a special kind of girl. I tell you that.
Yeah. You wouldn't give her a speeding ticket. You'd be all over the news. You'd be worldwide there, Chief.
No one's above the law now, John. You just think you are.
Hey, I'm just glad I never ran into him over the 7, 8 years he was here.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, I guess, Chief. An obvious question is: do they have the new chief ready to go, or they're going through that process?
I think the city is still in the process. To at least to name someone in the interim part, and I know that the city and the council have been having discussions about that. Nothing's been decided definitely yet, but I'm going to be here at least until around May 9th. So we have some time, and you have at least one more council meeting, official council meeting. But I know the city has been meeting about it and asking, for my opinion and the staff's opinion. So they're working on it. So
Good.
So over your years here, Chief, crime rate has been, you seen that kind of fall down a little bit?
It's remains, I hate to say steady, but we use our calls for service as sort of a judge for that. And we did have a dip in calls for service last year. So I don't know if that was still sort of a COVID haze, if I could, if that makes any sense, or we also were very shorthanded too. So that also kind of translates out to lesser self-initiated calls, but it's been consistent. Clear Lake is a tourist community. A lot of people going through Clear Lake on the interstate. Our restaurants over there off the exits there are very busy all the time, even during the wintertime or winter months. So it's remain consistent. With our new reporting to the state that we have through our National Incident-Based Reporting System, or NIBRS, we're going to be able to track that more better over the next couple of years to show actual rises and declines in that. So it's, for me, just unscientifically, without looking at the data, it's been maybe about the same. So
okay.
Is probably domestic probably the number one call?
Really our number one calls are hang up 911s. With our cell phones, we respond to a lot of those calls.
Hang up 911s. What do you mean?
Like when you pocket dial on your cell phone and you forget that, once you hit 911, it automatically connects to the dispatch center. So we still have to investigate that. But our biggest
people lock their phones. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I never butt dial anybody unless my butt has my face on it.
We
I got face recognition.
Without our number one charge, I don't think is domestic related, but it usually involves some sort of alcohol related incident, whether it's OWI, public.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We do go on a lot of disorderly calls or domestic calls that end up just being something else, or someone's just arguing a little bit loud, but doesn't involve anything physical.
Yeah.
I have not noticed a trend lately on domestic calls. Usually in the wintertime, we see a little bit of a uptick, but I did not see that in our department this year, which is good. So
that's good.
Mental health issues, welfare checks also seem to be kind of a lot of our calls lately that we're kind of responding to. So again, we will go anywhere when we're asked. So
a lot of coverage on the whole fentanyl thing has been going on a nationwide level. Do we have that issue here in North Iowa?
We do. It's hard to put that objectively because you're trying to get data from all the departments in North Iowa. They have different reporting mechanisms. Sometimes a medical issue may appear to be something related to a fentanyl or illegal narcotic, where it ends up being an actual medical issue later on down the road. I know that our narcotics, the people work a lot with meth and.
Well, we have a drug task force.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
That's through the sheriff's department, probably. But yeah, I just wanted to know if we had some of those issues.
It kind of, it's still there, but it's just hard for us to track that reporting because usually they're medical calls that we go on and we respond to because someone is having issues with that. And sometimes
or overdoses in general, maybe.
Yeah. And sometimes they're prescribed the medication too, and they just, something didn't go right, or so it's hard to quantify that to get you an accurate number. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's a problem, but even one overdose is a problem, I guess. So I don't know how you would look at a problem or a widespread problem, I guess I would say. So
sometimes, Chief, I think that people think that we live in such a small area that we don't have that issue like they do at the border and all that stuff that you hear about all the time.
We talk about this every time about everyone thinks that they live in which we do. We live in great communities up here in North Iowa.
Right.
But again, all of our burglaries, a lot of our things taken from vehicles, the door has been open or the keys have been left in the vehicle, and we still have to take precautions and still protect ourselves to stop crime, and that's prevent it. And again, like I said before, I think on your last time I said, lock your doors, hide your valuables, and make sure your garage door openers are secure and your vehicles are parked on the street.
Wow.
Huh. Go ahead, Jay. Yeah, I interrupt you. Apologize.
I forgot my question now.
Oh. Okay. What did you guys talk about this last Crime Stoppers meeting? They always meet up here at the radio station every month. In fact, it's the second Tuesday of the month, and that's when we found out that unfortunately you were leaving the area. But what was brought up, I guess, in that meeting?
We talk about issues that are affecting the agencies that are present. So the last meeting, Mason City and Cerro Gordo County were represented there along with Clear Lake. We just talked about getting into the summer months again, and that's going to bring a different. Our calls for service will go up dramatically amongst our three agencies, and we also talked about just some specific crimes that each agency was investigating, and I can't remember what Mason City and Cerro Gordo talked about without looking at the minutes, but we talked about just, again, our events are starting, and that brings more people to the area. So
yeah.
How many guys do you have on the force, or ladies too?
Well, we have 16 sworn at Clear Lake.
Wow, I didn't realize you had that many.
Yeah, we have a minimum of 2 that usually work most. We have a minimum of 2 for majority of the day that usually work. Sometimes there's 3, and we have people investigations, and we also have a officer that's an investigator on the task force full time as well. So,
is that normal for a town that size?
Clear Lake is a very unique community. Our size with full-time residents is about 7,600. However, if everyone lived in their home 24/7, we'd be in the 11 or 12,000 person range. So we're really sort of a city that's unique, that has to police a 12,000. And again, depending on what's going on at the lake or at the surf, or
Sure.
The events, that even a color of the wind back in February brought in thousands of people just for that day. So
that was like the biggest one ever, I swear.
Yeah. It was a great weather day for it too. So we have to police that too. So again, we have been fortunate with that number, and we also police Ventura. So that also includes some help from their city to police that town or provide law enforcement services and dispatch services. So again, Clear Lake is kind of hard to measure because we're really kind of just a unique city amongst all cities in Iowa. So
yeah. Go ahead.
Well, you look at the population? Do you have to have so many law enforcement per population?
There was an old formula that you do the 1.5 per 1,000, but that's an old FBI, just as a standard way of measuring that. But really, you look at calls for service, what services that you provide. Right now, the Clear Lake Police Department and Clear Lake Fire have the only 24/7 employees that are working around the clock. So our officers and medics have other responsibilities that a larger city may have. A zoning official or a parks department or another community service person do that. But our parks department will start working 7 days a week here quickly as well. So I mean, it's normal for our size. If you would actually go to the 12, like a Grinnell or maybe even a Carroll and Boone kind of comes to mind, and we're all right in that same sort of range with officers. So
okay.
Are there boundaries then for like the DNR and the Clear Lake Police Department? I guess it's obvious, maybe assumption that it would be the water.
Yeah, so the water itself is
woods maybe too. I don't know.
Yeah, so we go technically high water line to highway. So if you're dry, if you're on land, that's the city of Clear Lake.
Okay.
If you're in the water, then that's DNR or the county or the sheriff's office deals with that. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we have an agreement with the sheriff that if you're standing on a dock with your feet dry, then we will help there. Or take the call in the city. But if you're in the county or actually in the water, then they handle that. So
what about the parks then? I mean,
state park
officers. Yeah,
yeah. So McIntosh is in the city limits of Ventura, so we do help them out
Okay.
When needed. They have a ranger there, and then State Park is actually in the county, but they have a law enforcement ranger, so he is responsible for the law enforcement of that park. But they usually will call the county if they need something done and he's not available. And if the county is busy, then we'll also help out, or we at least run through each park and patrol it just to make sure things are okay. But the county has jurisdiction in State Park, and we will help take care of Ventura. So.
Do you have, I know that we don't have a lot of hunting season things going on right now, but do you guys ever, is that all done by the Rangers pretty much? If there's any issue with that going on, or do you guys get involved with some of that stuff?
We get involved with it. That our city code allows you to hunt in certain areas of the city. That we issue permits for that within city limits.
Okay.
Which is also a very unique thing to have.
Yeah, that surprises me actually.
It's not, you have to have the property owner's permission, and it has to, you can't be anywhere near. I mean, there's some criteria where you just can't go downtown and start looking for deer. But if there's anything that comes up regarding a hunting issue, we usually involve our conservation officers, who are also DNR, who also are very helpful, and we work very closely with them, as does the sheriff's office. So,
you have a lot of people that carry in Clear Lake?
If they are, they're doing it concealed. So I don't think that's ever been an issue up here. So at least not to my knowledge.
I always wanted to know if those numbers have gone up like a lot in the last few years.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, the permit to carry or conceal or whatever.
Yeah, well, the state passed the constitutional carry, so you don't really need a permit anymore to carry. But if you want to, I think again, Sheriff Powell would be the one to ask this question too. But my understanding is, which could be wrong, disclaimer here, that if you go out of a state, go to a different state, you may have to have a permit from Iowa for you to be legal in their state, unless they are also a constitutional carry state, like some states are. So
you still got to wait 3 days though, or just go in there and buy it?
That is something that I do not know. I mean, I think there is a waiting period, but again, it doesn't. I mean, the sheriff is the one that kind of deals with that. Or I don't even think we have any gun shop. Maybe even Mason City, but we don't. I don't think we even have any weapon dealers in our city. So,
wonderful.
Well, Chief, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and talking with you through the Crime Stoppers, and it's a pleasure not running into you in the streets as well. So.
Yeah, you gonna get any time off in between, or are you gonna start up right away when you head down to the Des Moines area?
There'll be a couple days in between, but my last day is around the 9th up here, and then I start the 15th down there. So,
what do you want? A bunch of donuts?
No, I need to work off some of these donuts. So it's a long winter too. So, but I won't be a stranger. And of course, you guys can always reach out. The internet works down in Des Moines just as well as it works up here. So,
maybe there's a radio station down in Des Moines. You'll be doing these. You
never know. But if you ever need anything to, please don't hesitate to reach out. So,
sure.
Don't forget Crime Stoppers of North Central Iowa. There's a lot of that on our websites as well. But if you need to call the number, it's 800-383-0088 for those of you that are listening to this. Otherwise, Crime Stoppers North Central Iowa. I think it's Crime Stoppers of North Central Iowa.com, I do believe.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in a while. I think I might have to. That might be something I got to change on that website. Crime Stoppers of. If you just Google it, they'll give you the number.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys actually we don't bring that up enough. I hope you get phone calls on that.
We do occasionally. We do occasionally when we actually push out a press release that actually uses the Crime Stopper, or we do get occasional use of that. Most of the time, people just email us or call the department anonymously when they want to report something that we're looking for. But it is used, and I wish people would use it more. So. And
you guys have a Facebook page too. People can message that.
Correct. Yep.
And we keep it out there all the time about how, if your tip that you have about somebody committing a crime leads to an arrest, you can actually be awarded some money.
Correct.
So, very good. All right. Well,
thanks, guys.
Thank you, Chief. Yeah, have a good move. Have fun.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Take care.